Hello and welcome back to Planning with Jamie. Today I'm going to do a quick little flip through of how my meal planning is going. So I did do an awesome video, a meal plan with me this last week. I decorated it with you guys. I had everything pre-planned, so my macros were on point, and then my SD card malfunctioned and I literally lost everything from this last week. So we're gonna just do some flip throughs with you guys so that you don't miss the content, but at the same time too, I can give you different ideas on how to use this. So this meal planner is completely new to me. So I've always just meal planned like really sloppily or written down like 3 to 5 different options. I'm trying to even show you guys how sloppy. All right, so this is the first thing that I want to show you guys. So this is how I kind of started out here. This is back the very end of January, start of February, and I want to say this is when I bought it. It might have been a couple weeks before this, but this was very, very new. I was looking at it and I'm thinking, how can I make this work for my family really well? So I was using pencils so that if I had to switch stuff around, it would work out really well. Now I don't go into depth and write like every single side down that we're gonna have or anything like that. And then you could see, so it has an area for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, and then this says ingredients to prep. And you could see I was not using it to our fullest. We're not huge snackers, and I don't plan my kids' snacks either. We kind of just look and see what works. And so then the next week you could see I ended up we were having turkey and potatoes, and then I didn't even use it at all. Right, so then if we flip forward to March, I decided, okay, let's use this a little bit more. I ended up like crossing out the snacks part because I knew that was something that I didn't feel like I needed. And then I forget if I pre-planned this. I feel like I more wrote it in like on Thursday. I was writing in what we were gonna have on Friday, which that kind of thing really works for me to plan for the next day. Like usually over here, I have like 3 to 5 items that I know we can have for a meal, but then we just pick night to night what we want out of those 3 to 5 items. So this worked, but again, this isn't exciting to look at. It like nothing drew me in to flip this back open. All right, so then I decided, let's make this happen. And so I ended up doing this one, and this one made me really, really happy. There was a few things I already knew we were for sure going to be doing, such as Book It pizza, so the Pizza Hut Book It things that you end up earning for reading. My kids are able to do that, and I knew I had to get it used by a certain date, and so I scheduled it in knowing that dance goes really late this night, and so that'd be very helpful for us to end up having. Then this right here is St. Patrick's Day, so of course we needed to have green pancakes for supper. So I was using it. Oh, look over here, I put no dance this week. So really that didn't pertain to the fact dance ends up running late, but it ends up working. And that's why I end up putting stuff like this over here too, because when I'm planning, then I know like what time supper has to be happening and whether it should be a quick supper or an early supper, a late supper, you know, what have you. So then down here, it usually says ingredients to prep. Again, that's something that I'm not using, same with the snacks. So this is my prep list, and I just put like cook breakfast sausage, get chicken out of the freezer on Monday, freeze extra chili, freeze the ground beef, and then make muffins. And then over here, I have made this into my shopping list. So I would kind of look over or think about our menu plan, and then I end up putting everything that we ended up needing. But again, I don't know if I actually got it all because I didn't even mark it off or anything. So it was working, but we weren't quite there yet. All right, then go forward into April. And this one I actually did do a video with you guys, and this worked so good. Like this is when it all started coming together for me on how I need to use this planner. So basically I write everything out in just black ink, and then if we end up having it when we were supposed to have it, I end up highlighting it. I use the mild liner, And this color is just gray is what the color is. So if you look on your mild liners on the back, it will end up telling you the color. But yep, I just kind of keep this with an elastic holder on here. So I end up putting these two elastic holders around here. So one of them ends up holding a pen that I need in here, and the other one ends up holding this highlighter so that I always have everything I need all together. Right, so you could see we actually did pretty good and we followed the menu plan really, really well. There was a few times, like here, I already knew we were going out to eat with a family member. Here, I decided instead of snacks, this would kind of be my reminder type thing. So I knew on Monday night, if I look here, it says get pulled pork out of the freezer. So I know I need to get that out of the freezer so that it's all ready for dinner the next night. And so this has been very helpful to be able to look down and have those little reminders instead of it always being in my head. Here again, no dance this week. That's very helpful when I'm looking forward and trying to put what we're going to have each night. And then I ended up starting to put stuff for my work weekend. So this is helpful because if I have it pre-planned, then I know on Friday night exactly what I'm going to get packed up so that I can just grab it early the next morning, and then same with Sunday. So then also for dinner, I'm obviously not home for that when I work, but we had peppers in the fridge that needed to get used. And so I made sure my husband had everything to make stuffed peppers, which he did. So this should be highlighted off actually, but then you could see I was crossing out what we didn't do. So these were burgers and chicken. The burgers ended up actually, they were pre-made like patties, and they were frozen solid together. There was no using them. And so we ended up switching over to spaghetti and garlic bread. And so this is useful though, because like this is telling me I need to prep a little bit. So this says meal planning the next week, which I did do, and I did an awesome job. Like this next week, just wait for it. All right, and then, yep, a few things ended up switching for work. I didn't really follow any item here at work, so I ended up making a breakfast burrito instead of doing a yogurt parfait or meat lover protein balls. And then I ended up having a breakfast sandwich. I was going to make overnight oats, never did. So, or here it was supposed to be a frozen meal or grilled chicken and rice. Didn't do either one of them. I did pack some work food though, but I didn't pack as much as I wanted, and that's something that needs to change. So down here, ingredients to prep, I did simple things like prep strawberries for the dessert, prep cucumbers, slice apples, make blueberry muffins, make banana bread. These are good things as reminders that I felt worked very, very well, because otherwise we have produce going bad if I don't prep it. Whereas if I prep it, then oh my gosh, my kids just eat through it in the first day, which is way better than it going to waste. So then down here it says making a habit. I put close the kitchen, which means the dishes are done, the countertops are clean, you know, like we're putting the kitchen to bed basically. So I did really good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then I work on Saturday and Sunday, so I'm not home on those days, to be fair. But then on Friday, I just didn't do it. I was probably tired from the rest of the week. But this is something that, you know, is always my goal, to make sure it's done, because it's really great to wake up the next day to a clean, great kitchen. All right, then over here, there was more ingredients to prep, and this is more like food items, and these are like more simple prep items in my head. So I need to prep some taco meat for work. I did prep the taco meat, but I didn't take it. And then make the taco bowls for work. I ended up making them, but I put them in the freezer. So I did have those like a following week. Freeze extra rolls so that they didn't go to waste, and then make overnight oats. I didn't do that, and that's fine, because nothing went to waste by not doing that. All right, so then this next week is the big week. Like, it all came together on this next week. So I did put in a lot of extra time and effort into pre-planning this week, but I also feel like it was the best week. I didn't have any stress regarding any of it. I knew I had everything I needed, and more importantly, I knew my macros were going to be pretty close on. So this is obviously like really a suggestion, but it's nothing that absolutely has to be. But it laid down a really good foundation, I think is what I'm trying to say. So over here noted that I switched to light sour cream from full sour cream, and that is half the calories right there, and it really doesn't taste any different. So if you haven't done it, you should do that. And then freeze extra pancakes. I think I was going to like meal prep some pancakes, or we were gonna, I don't see anywhere that we were gonna have pancakes. So I must have been thinking about meal prepping them. Oh no, right here, the kids were gonna have pancakes, but they ended up not having it. So I was gonna make extra and freeze them, which is what I normally do, but they ended up not having it that day. So I did list down what my macro goals are over here, and then again, anything highlighted is what we actually followed through with. So we're about maybe 50% on that. We're not super high on it. So I ended up, here's my breakfast, here's my lunch, and then if you see down here any asterisks with stuff in it, such as all these, that means that is something different that the kids can have versus what me and my husband's going to have. So on Mondays we have a busy day. We always pack cold lunches to go along with us, and I ended up having some tuna, string cheese, and wheat thins, and some cottage cheese. So down here, I can actually cross this out. So cottage cheese was supposed to be a snack, but these snacks are kind of like if I need a filler thing. So I used it as a filler, and so this was good because I would have really gone off my diet if I didn't have this written down, because I was really like tired and stressed from working all weekend. So this kept me on there. Then we were thinking about doing taco bowls, but that didn't sound super, super good. And then the cheeseburgers from the previous week that was not thawed were completely ready and perfect. And they were the best cheeseburgers ever. So I just crossed out what was planned, wrote in what we actually had. So down here, I know my macros and my calories are different, but I kind of want to compare like what I really did versus what was planned, because I think it'll be really eye-opening. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. This time it's probably for the better. Usually cheeseburgers I can get like better macros out of than taco bowls. All right, then here on Tuesday, we followed it so well. So egg, sausage, and toast. The kids had cereal. Then everybody's been wanting the buffalo chicken ranch dip, and so I ended up going ahead and making that. It is not the healthiest thing ever, but I had it built into my macros. That's okay. I had a very limited amount of chips. I behaved myself completely, and then some cottage cheese. And then everybody did feel like tacos this night. So we had tacos, chips, and quesos. I put take chicken out of the freezer, and that I think would have been for this day. But I didn't take it out of the freezer, so we didn't have this on this day. See how it kind of rumples and makes a difference here? So as you can see, like here we didn't have steak, we made homemade pizza instead. We ended up going shopping somewhere and getting back late, and it was raining and we didn't feel like steak. So we had the steak that was going to be like I had planned it for leftovers this day. We ended up just grilling it this day, and it was beautiful out and it was so good. And then I noted here one of my kids started a gluten-free diet. And so I just kind of noted it so that if we think, you know, oh, you've been on this for 2 weeks or whatever it's been, then we can go back and we know exactly when it's been. And really nothing special that day or really that day. I do try to think of things like these 2 days. I try to make items that I can take to work as leftovers. And so like the steak and potatoes, I end up taking the steak with some cottage cheese as leftovers on this day instead of making an extra meal, which would have been grilled chicken and rice. And so I already had leftovers and I utilized those. And then my husband had put some of the stuffed peppers into the freezer, and he just got one of those out and ended up cooking it. And then I've been really good about taking my protein shakes to work because I only skip at least one meal. And then the tacos, we had the taco salad that I had made the previous week. I had those in the freezer, and I just take them out basically on Friday so that I can have it one of these 2 days. So this is working really well for me. Down here, this is my meal prep area. So I put that I could prep the buffalo chicken ranch dip ahead of time. I could prep the breakfast gravy ahead of time. So we were having breakfast pizzas here, and the sauce for it is the breakfast gravy. And that would have been fine to like re-warm up. Make breakfast burrito for Saturday, which I did do, and then prep rice for work I didn't do because like I said, I ended up utilizing leftovers instead. Then this is my grocery list, my shopping list, and I really like it. And so I basically write down everything that I need. I'm not including stuff that I'm positive that I have, but there's a few things that I'm not sure I have, and so I do end up writing it down, like orzo pasta. I wasn't positive that I had that, so I wrote it down. I did end up having it, so I crossed it out. So when I highlight items, it means either we have it or I have bought it for the week, and that worked perfectly. And then when I move on to the next week, I can look back and see what is not crossed off and do we still need those items. So this was like my perfect week. Like this worked so well. Then go forward to this week. And for some reason, I didn't pre-plan. We have been so crazy busy that I just have not had time to sit down. So I'm kind of planning out the next meal, it seems like. So this is what all we've eaten so far. And here we are. This is Wednesday night. Tonight we had sour cream bake and some garlic. We had leftover hamburger buns, and so I just make it into garlic toast instead so that they don't go to waste. And then tomorrow we decided we wanted eggs, toast, and sausage for the morning, and then I've still got to figure out lunch and supper. Friday is our anniversary, and so I think we'll either go out for breakfast or we'll go out for dinner. If we go out for breakfast, it's breakfast and lunch, because usually when you go out for breakfast, it's a lot of food. And then I'm already pre-planning what I need to take on the weekends. I have not filled in the lunch aspect because it depends on what we eat here as to what there are leftovers. Down here, I put prep all breakfast sausage. So we had a whole bunch of links that needed to get, they weren't pre-cooked. So they needed to get cooked up so they didn't go to waste. And so I actually have already done that, and we can just use that tomorrow. It's already cooked for us. And then shopping, I'm just starting my little list of stuff that I already know that I need. So I have to say, picking what I prefer here, I don't mind this, but I love this. This, as a mom, was so good. So as a mom, it was so great to look, and I know most of my kids don't eat egg, sausage, and toast. And so I know that I already need to pre-plan something nice for them. Or let's say we know on Wednesday that we're gone for speech in the morning, so I need something a little bit quicker for a meal. My husband can even look in this, and he knows we're having tuna melts, cottage cheese, and wheat thins, or grilled cheese, depending on who is eating, because some of my kids don't like tuna. And so he knows he can look at this and he can get this started before we even get home if he has time. And if he doesn't have time, I know that I made a quick, easy lunch that I can prepare it once we get home on the later side. So that being said, I think I'm going to keep using this. It is working. Whether it be like all this planning or just planning ahead the next day, I think either one of them work really great for me. And I feel like I'll find that little happy, balanced middle ground between the two of them. So I do recommend getting this. It has worked really, really great for me. Any of the pages I haven't used, I'm just gonna redate and keep on using. And I'll keep bringing you some plan with me's for meal planning. All right, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you found any of this helpful. And also make sure you're subscribed and that bell notification is turned on so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Also, I started an Instagram account for Planning with Jamie. The handle is Planning with Jamie. Go ahead, go over there. I share a lot of my daily things and different reels and all that kind of stuff with you guys. So, all right, until next time, bye.